Mark, what's the difference between a sex demon and a pirate?
I feel like this is a logical leap to be able to make. Why can I not think of it? I don't know. What is the difference?
Where you put the peg.
My Dixie Rex.
Guess we're ready for the show then. The writing is atrocious. Not a single joke come even close to remotely landing or being funny.
Get a little bit of gasoline. I'ma make it burn. I'ma make it burn. I'ma make it burn. I'ma make it burn.
I don't know why, but that is extremely interesting to me. I'm into that kind of thing.
Get to the chopper. Sorry.
I feel like we're so spoiled by the internet these days.
Thankfully, this does wrap up quite quickly.
Step back. You're gonna fuck up in a minute.
I'm gonna set your place on fire. Let's get higher.
How do you know about these people? And what the fuck is this pattern?
This effect made me want to die.
This couldn't make its mind up on what it wanted to be.
Get a little bit of gasoline. I'ma make it burn. I'ma make it burn. Let's go. I'ma make it burn. I'ma make it burn.
Hello and welcome to the You Run Podcast Horror. Blah. Start that again. Put my teeth in. Hello and welcome to the You Run Podcast.
Put my teeth in. That is such a grandad thing to say. How fucking old are you? Oh man, that reminds me of like what my grandma and granddad used to say. That's hilarious.
Hello. Fucking welcome to the show. My name is Scott.
And my name is Marc.
And we are an interactive horror movie review show. You pick the movies, you share your thoughts on the movies, you score the movies, and me and Mark just bumble along for the ride. We also play regular games, of which this week there is one. We have regular guests, of which next week there is one. We have a few beers, which we've already had a few, as you could probably tell by the opening of this episode. We have a laugh, and we discuss horror. It's a super interactive show. You can get involved in the show in loads of ways. Best way is to record us a voicemail. You can do it by sending it as a voice note on DM on Instagram, or by recording a TikTok with no music, and we can drop that in the episode too. If you enjoy the show, please leave us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. If you don't want to hear your voice on the air, but you still want to say something to us, email us, yourunpodcast@gmail.com, and Mark will read theirs out in either his best Southern accent or an accent of your request.
That sounds better, actually. You request that might encourage people to drop a message. You request the accent, and I will give it my best go.
You request which level of racism you'd like Mark to attempt next.
Yeah, that is pretty much it. How stereotypical do you want me to go with the accents?
Yeah, and then at least you've got a finger to point when it's really bad.
Oh yeah, that could go in so many dangerous levels. In fact, maybe we shouldn't do that.
No, we've done it now. It's too late, and I'm not editing, as people can tell by what I didn't cut out at the start. We've had some messages this week. Just be warned, occasionally you'll send us a voicemail and you may get a voicemail back, which is what happened this week. So here we go.
Listening to the Shallows episode now, and I'm not really sure if you guys said buoy, like the thing that bobs out in the ocean, or boy, but I really hope it wasn't a boy that was out there bobbing, and I think it's actually pronounced buoy. So I'm just coming at you again. Anyways, guys, happy Monday.
Buoy?
Yeah,
like a really camp ghost.
Buoy! Now, you weren't happy with this message that you received, so you clapped back.
It's also pronounced aluminium, so I'm not really sure if you have any credibility here,
Heather.
Heather was decidedly unimpressed by your response and also clapped back at you.
Heather was not in the mood that day.
No.
Is aluminum. I can't. Aluminium. I can't. It's Monday. Oh my God.
Well, again, not condoned. This went on. This continued.
Yeah, this.
I think someone needs to go on Google Translate and ask it to pronounce aluminium. Because it's not aluminum, it's aluminium. Get Google to say it for you, Heather. Get Google to do it. So I clap back as well. Not to be outdone, Elise, because this is our group chat for the show. So Elise wanted to add her 2 pennies worth to this as well.
It's boy, and it's also aluminium.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
I feel like we're all just ganging up on Heather now. This feels kind of cruel.
It was very much Heather come at us, and everyone was like, "Today's not the day."
She was not in the mood, was she?
No, she really wasn't. We have received another message as well, so let me do the other message.
Officially requesting District 9 to be an episode on the podcast. Please.
Fuck yeah, about time, man. That film is awesome.
So this is Skelly, and she wants District 9. Is District 9 a horror movie?
100%.
It is?
Mean, maybe not 100%, maybe about 85%. The concept teeters on the edge of sci-fi horror, I suppose.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Okay.
Let's just do it, man. It's an awesome film.
Yeah, but where do you draw the line? Back to the Future.
No, that is sci-fi, isn't it?
Is it? It's quite scary in places. He nearly fucks his mum. That's quite scary.
I don't know though. She is very fit.
But it's his mum.
Yeah, I know, but it's a different time zone. It's a different era.
Wow, you're giving way too much away about yourself right now.
I'm not talking about my mum. I'm talking about his mum.
Yeah, okay. We will add it into our rotation. I don't know when it's going to be. It's probably going to be towards the end of the year because we are absolutely stacked. We will do it probably towards the end of the year. I'll message you, Skelly, and let you know when it's going to go into the rotation. But we'll definitely do it.
So what's that we've got for 2 picks now? We've got 2 picks, haven't we? We've got that. We've got Urban Legend.
We've got the girl. The girl.
The Dead Girl.
Dead Girl. So we've got 3 requests that are coming before the end of the year that are all in the rotation. I don't know where they are. Listen, keep up to date with horror movie news because on that show we give you the next 5 episodes, so you'll have an idea when stuff's coming. That's how to get involved. If you haven't listened before, we start by you giving your scores, then our review, then facts, then games, then roundups, then our scores. But before any of that happens, Marc shares his recommended account of the week.
Recommended account of the week.
He doesn't have ready and open on his phone because he was too distracted by aluminium.
Aluminum. Aluminum foil? I don't know what that was.
I don't know what that was. It's a good job you don't get to read our reviews.
Hi, y'all.
So this week's recommended account is Tony Babel. Tony Babel is an artist and his bio reads, stuck in the 30s creating vintage loops. This is an account that focuses mainly on artwork from, I guess you could say, the 30s. It's hard to really describe without actually being able to physically show you. So do you remember like that cartoon character thing that came out recently called like Bendy?
No.
It's like, Cuphead. Do you know Cuphead, the video game?
No.
Oh my God, this is more difficult than I thought it was. The whistling Mickey Mouse from back in the day.
Yes. Yeah.
Imagine that in color, but it's like more focused on like devils and skulls and there's like lo-fi videos floating around on YouTube, on Instagram ads. There's like lo-fi music, but then it's like a skeleton dancing.
Yeah, I know what you mean now. Yeah,
you obviously find there's that one video as well of like that skeleton dancing that always pops up in horror films. It's in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I'm with you.
He creates artwork like that, but it's like his reels are done on a loop where it's maybe just like a 3-second clip, but they all feeds back into itself. So you've probably watched the same video about 20 times in the space of a minute.
Yeah.
It's really, really clever. And the artwork's absolutely phenomenal that this guy creates. I've lost hours watching this guy's stuff. It's really, really cool. I'm a big fan of this era and this style of artwork as well. It's a very nice account to watch. So check it out. I mention it because I feel like a lot of people would really, really like it. And that is Tony.Babel, if you search him on Instagram. Yeah, check him out. Let me know what you think. Oh, Betty Boop. That's the kind of style that I was referring to.
Boop, boop, be-doop, boop.
Yeah,
I know.
that's probably a more better reference.
Yeah,
I should have opened with Betty Boop.
Why didn't you go with probably the most popular cartoon from the 1930s, Betty Boop, to start with?
Yeah, I realised where I went wrong there.
Yeah, just picking some random obscure thing I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Even Mickey Mouse was a stretch for me for a minute.
But as always, guys, if you go and follow this account, be sure to comment on his videos and let him know that the Urine podcast sent you there.
And more people are doing that now, and I think it's great. I keep getting tagged in stuff now.
That's cool. I noticed one the other day, actually, from one of the recommended account of the weeks. I tagged us in it to say
Yeah,
we sent them there, which is really, really cool. So, yeah, keep up that, guys. It's obviously advertising for us, but not only that, though, the accounts that I'm recommending also might see the comments and think, oh, I'm going to check out that podcast. And then they might tell their friends, who might tell their nan, who might tell her friends. And who knows, before we know it, we have an audience of Susans and Karens, which would be nice.
yeah, and also we've not had anyone call up and give a shout out for their nan yet either, which I'm still waiting on. This week we're discussing the dangers of going to early screenings of horror movies, discussing why 80s horror practical effects always win out. Wow, my brain just froze. Hold on. So come along with us as we take a trip to the cinema for a special screening of Dario Argento's Demons.
The preview you are about to watch is for a movie that is unlike any you have ever seen before. It is for a movie that goes beyond temporary fear to everlasting terror. It is a movie called Demons. Yes, the demons are coming, and they're coming for you. Warning, if you have the courage to see demons, sit near an exit. Otherwise, you might never get out. In your theater, who will survive the touch of the demons, and who will not? Demons. With music by Billy Idol, Motley Crue, The Adventures, Rick Springfield, and Saxon. This is no dream. This is happening right now. And it could be happening to you. Demons. They will make cemeteries their cathedrals, and the cities will be your tombs. Will you survive it? Demons.
So, listeners go first, along with online sites. Listeners, you are really being mean recently. Like, the last couple of scores you've given are devastatingly low. They scored this a 4 out of 10.
Holy shit, no way.
No, I'm kidding. They scored this an 8 out of 10.
I'm going to say, fucking hell. That would have blown my mind.
Yeah, no, this is an 8 out of 10. Letterboxd come in at 3.5 out of 5 and IMDb 6.6 out of 10.
That's quite low as well for IMDb.
Yeah, this was a first watch for me. So, like, when these scores come in, this meant nothing to me at all. I was like, I honestly, I knew nothing about this. And it wasn't until I started looking. It's not even a Dario Argento film.
No, he's a producer on this.
He's a producer, but like everything you see for this, his name is like top of the cover, top of the posters, like Dario Argento. And he's like, he was barely involved.
Yeah. I mean, I think from my knowledge of the film, I think he did have quite a hand in it, although he hasn't received directorial credit. But I do think he was quite heavily involved in the production side of things.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, he's a director that's kind of passed me by a little bit. I don't really know much of his stuff, and I've not really delved into anything he's done.
I don't know anything. I'll be honest with you. This is my first sort of toe in the water, really, when it comes to the Argento sort of giallo kind of era of Italian horror films. I understand the appeal. I get the appeal, and some of the stuff that I have seen. Bear in mind, I haven't watched an entire giallo or Argento film, but I'm very familiar with the sort of subgenre of horror that it is. But eventually I will get round to it. But it's one of those things where, do you remember when we did Creature of the Black Lagoon and we dove into Universal monsters from the 50s and stuff like that? And I was just kind of sat there like, I don't know where to start. And I feel like with Argento, I just don't know where to start. It's one of those where I need somebody to say to me, right, I've seen all the Argento films. If you want to get the full Argento experience, start with this, watch this, then go on to watch this, and you will enjoy his filmography as intended.
Yeah.
But whereas if I just dived in and I pick out something really shit to start with, like when we watched the first Troma film and we did Class of '84, and I was like, oh, this is fucking weird. I don't
Class
get
of
it.
Newcomb High.
Class of Newcomb High, sorry, yeah. And it was like it took me a few other Troma films to finally find my footing with that
and it was Killer Condom that brought you fully on board.
That fucking, yeah, man, that shit sold me right the river. I love that one. But again, that's it. If we'd have opened with Killer Condom, I'd have been like, this is the greatest thing ever. And I would have probably watched every single Troma film by now. But I didn't. I opened with the wrong one, in my opinion, anyway. And I just couldn't find my footing with it. So for anybody out there who is well versed in the world of giallo and Argento, send me a little tick list of where to go and which order I should probably experience these films in, because I'd really like to go into them a lot deeper than I have already. It's just knowing the best place to go with it, I think.
Yeah, and I know nothing about it. This movie, well, we'll get into it. We kick things off with the most 80s train station in the history of cinema. This could not get any more 80s unless Jason was walking through that train. It's I mean, I love it. It's like you've got the like almost like a techno 80s techno beat over like the subway, and you've got everyone in there with their funky 80s clothes, and you've got punks, and it's a really cool little vibe. I really like the opening. Instantly I'm like, yeah, I'm 100% in. It's got me straight away.
Yeah, because I didn't know anything, as neither did you. We spoke about this before. I was like, I know nothing about this film. I have no idea. I'm going in with very low expectations, but then that score just hits you straight away, and you're like, "Oh yeah, this is all right. I'm feeling this."
I'm sat there bobbing my head, going, "Yeah, this is cool. Let's go. There's a punk there. There's a girl there in some red high heels. They're very 80s. Yeah, I'm in." The train stops and a young girl gets off, and everyone leaves the platform immediately. And for some reason, she goes in slow-mo. Like everyone runs away, and she's the only person on the platform, which I thought was a bit weird. And instantly I went, you deserve to die right now. I thought she was dead here. We hear someone else walk onto the platform, and we see a man wearing a silver mask carrying what looks like an iron. What was he carrying?
Wasn't that just a pack of flyers?
It was, but like the way they shot it, it looked like he was carrying like an iron. I paused.
This dude's creepy as fuck, though, isn't he?
He's really creepy, and like I don't know how they done the effect, because it's not a mask. It kind of looks like it's part of its skin. It's really cool.
Yeah, it looks like the Terminator, like 2/3 into Terminator.
Yeah, it looks like T-1000.
Yeah,
like half
bits of like silver skull poking through, and yeah, it's really really cool. It looks like a cybernetic.
Cybernetic. Yeah, looks
cybernetic was right.
Yeah, looks like it's come from Cyberdyne Systems.
Cyberdyne. That is some very very eclectic words we've just thrown out there.
I know, and we've been drinking. The girl sees him and she runs away. And when I say run, she does like a casual jog, stopping every 2 minutes to turn around and look behind her. And when she gets to the escalator, instead of running up the escalator, she stops and holds the handrail while looking over her shoulder. It's the funniest shit ever.
You got to follow by the rules on escalators, though. It does clearly state do not walk on an escalator.
I'm looking at it going, you're obviously scared, but you're kind of doing this half run. I'm in heels. I can't really run. I'm going to like jog. Ow, my foot hurts. I'm going to stop and turn around. And it's just so bad. She gets to the top of the escalator, and the man hands her a ticket to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, which has obviously changed.
I immediately thought that as well.
They've changed their marketing plan because they're now giving golden tickets out to everyone.
Yes.
I joke. They're tickets to the Metropole Theatre. Would you take a random gold ticket off a stranger? Of course you would.
Yeah, I was going to say, why are you even asking me this question?
The girl then, who was terrified a minute ago, now she's been given something free, cheekily says, "Could she have one for her friend?"
I just want to go back a minute to when you asked me would I take a ticket. Tasha from Tasha Scribbles messaged me the other day, and she was talking about something scary in her house. And she's like, "Oh, should I go down here or something like that?" And then like now I'm actually a thing. Like I'm a thing.
Yeah, you
it's
are.
like, oh, rate it on a scale to would Mark do it or would Mark not do it?
Rate it on a scale of 1 to Mark, and if Mark says yes, don't do
Yeah.
it.
And I'm like, is that an insult or is that a compliment that I am like a scale on an idiot meter? It's like if Mark would do it, it's probably safe not to go down that path.
Yeah, and I think that is a thing. That may be a new scale of rating things on the show, 1 to Mark. Also, Tasha Scribbles, the Sinister Scoop, has got a very exclusive scoop. If you all want to DM her because she's not released it yet, she is the only person in the world, bar me, who currently holds the plot synopsis for It's With You Now.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, drop her a message. She'll be dropping it soon, but if you want a sneak peek, drop Tasha a message.
No, I want to stay out of this as much as I can until the very end. I want to see it as intended with no trailers, just straight in.
Tasha messaged me like, I was like, I'm going to give you this, blah, blah, blah. I'll give you the synopsis. She's like, this synopsis best be fucking spoiler free. If it's not spoiler free, I don't want it. Don't send it to me. Anyway, we're getting wildly off track. The guy gives her another ticket and she leaves. She goes and meets her friend outside and they discuss going to the movie before we cut away to the Metropole Theatre. In the theatre, we see a samurai holding a demon mask while sat on a motorbike and a cracking pair of thighs in such quick succession, I had to pause it to take it all in. It was like, the camera pans in, it goes, samurai, demon mask, motorbike, samurai on the motorbike, hot thighs. And I was like, oh my God, it's like sensory overload.
It feels like this scene was catered just for you.
Someone went into my mind and went, what would you like to see in a single scene? The only thing that was missing was a chainsaw, and this would have been complete. If that samurai was holding a chainsaw, I probably would have died. I found it really bizarre here because we jumped to evening, which was quite sudden. So when she comes out of the train station, it's like lunchtime, and then it jumps to like nighttime, and the two girls arriving at the theatre. I think there's been a cut there that we've not seen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, possibly. But the thing is with this film, it doesn't really mess about. It's literally, this is what we're doing. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, the bit we just described is them loading the bullet in about 4 lines of my note. They fire and they continue to fire till the end of the movie.
Yeah, it knows exactly what it is and it just gets straight to it.
Inside the theatre, we see people arrive and we see 2 guys who spot our 2 girls. This cast is big and they're kind of all dispensable, and I don't know any of their names, and I'm just going to describe them as they come. The guys are eyeing up the girls and they do the most cheesy 80s approach ever. The girl can't get the Coke can out of the machine. He comes over and like gives it a thump. He's like, there's your Coke can. It's like, fuck you. There's also a blind man, which made me laugh my fucking arse off.
Yeah, why is this dude? I mean, I shouldn't say that. Blind people can go to the cinema. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah, that they can. He's also a Jedi. Did you spot that?
But when he realizes there's a step.
Yeah, and he also warns his escort. I'm assuming she's an escort at this point. We'll get to what she is in my notes later. I assume she was an escort because he's in his 80s and she's like in her 20s. But he warns her not to touch the mask because it's dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
This is not the mask you're looking for.
Yeah, he does. I
Yeah.
didn't realize that now until you mentioned it. Yeah, that's weird.
This is great because, like, straight away you get the payoff. He goes, "Don't touch the mask; it's dangerous." And we see another lady playing with the mask who gets a cut on her face when she takes it off. They all take their seats at the cinema, and the two guys go in and sit next to the two girls. And this place is half empty. There's like it's a full cinema, and there's what 20 people in here.
Max, yeah.
This guy who was giving out leaflets is shit at his job. I could have filled that cinema giving out free tickets to an advanced screening of a horror movie. I could have filled that cinema 10 times over by posting that on my Instagram.
Oh, easily. Yeah. I mean, hey, it's the 80s, man. What are we going to do?
I suppose. The movie begins, and I want to see this movie. It looks like a budget version of The Lost Boys. You've got bikes, you've got music. They visit a haunted house. It's the resting place of Notre Dame. It's cool.
Yeah, and the score and music to this film as well. You've got like Motley Crue and fucking the guy who sings White Weddings kicking about. You've got
Billy
Go
Idol.
West, Billy Idol. You've got Go West. I mean, the musical score for this is fantastic. Really is. And I think that's something that's quite prominent in a lot of Giallo films and stuff like that. There's a band called Goblin, and they're like a heavy metal kind of band, but they like score a lot of Italian horror films. And I think this is sort of falling into that line of those.
Yeah, and like this movie within a movie is kind of a big part of this opening bit. So you see these characters go deeper into the haunted house and they find some tombs on the way. We also have, like, in the cinema, the escort telling the blind man what's happening. It's like audio description before audio description was a thing. So he sat
the thing I really like about it is it's the two play in together quite well. Like, you get all the exposition you need from such a simple premise that they set up in this film. Like, what's playing out on the film sort of foreshadows what's to come for everybody else without having to go down that road of, ooh, here's a scary mask. Ooh, this scary mask means this and this means that. And it's like, even though we don't know that it's going to fall into that line, you kind of pre-anticipate that's the direction it's taking.
Yeah, it's really cleverly done. I like the way that it flicks between what's on the cinema screen and back to in the cinema, and we get some really cool bits in this. So you get the woman who starts smoking, and then the woman who's like running the cinema like seating's like, you can't do that, and there's some guy at the back who's like, fucking hookers, they're everywhere. And you get like just random shit that goes on. The thing that I found really random is some random guy sitting next to blind guy's escort and starts to kiss and finger her. What the fuck?
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, I mean, is fingering still a thing? Is that still a thing?
I mean, don't want to dive too much into my own personal life, but
no, I mean, like when you were a kid, well, not a kid, but when you were like a teenager, that was like a oh yeah, I fingered her.
Yeah, that was like a bragging right, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, is that still a thing?
I don't know. I don't hang around with a lot of kids who brag about it these days. That would probably put me in a weird predicament.
Yeah, I'm the same. And to be honest, I actually don't really want to know now we've fleshed it out. I don't want to know if it's still a thing.
Yeah, I think the more we dive into this, the worse it gets. Should we just move on?
We'll take a back step. In the movie within a movie, the characters find another tomb, and it's sealed, and they open it. And this is where they find the Necronomicon and a demonic mask. And yes, you guessed it, they read from the book. One of them tries the mask on, and it cuts their face. And they're reading in the book that whoever wears the mask becomes a demon. As the guy in the movie cuts his face, the woman in the theatre who cut her face earlier kind of goes, oh shit. And she goes from like laughing at the movie to going, oh, it's not funny now. It's really, really not funny. The guy on screen turns into a demon, and the girl who cut her face gets up and goes to the toilet to go and clean it because it started bleeding again. We get the start of a demon transformation, and we get it's like this huge spot popping where the cut was. It's gross.
Very gross. It like oozes like green gunk from it.
Yeah,
where you would expect there to be blood or white pus, it's like green. And the first thing that came into my mind was Troma. As soon as I saw this, I was like, this is Troma. This is like Evil Dead meets Troma.
It's very, very, very much that. This woman's friend who sat in the cinema, so there was these two girls and a guy. She gets up to go and look for her as the movie draws to its like stabby finale. I love this whole sequence where you're getting two movies for the price of one. So you're getting the movie on screen that I'm fairly invested in because it's turned into some sort of supernatural slasher. And then you're getting the movie in the theatre that's going on as well. And that's really cool. The blind man needs a pee or something and he's calling for help. I love this where he's like, hello, yeah, help me. But his CNI lady can't help him because she's being banged behind the curtain. It's such a weird decision. I don't understand where the director's mind was with this. Like, yeah, some random guy's going to sit there and like kiss her finger, and then he's going to take her behind the curtain and bang her. We're just going to leave the blind guy there all on his own calling for help.
I know, and I just feel like there's so much missing in terms of who these people are and what the development is between them. Like, who is she to him? Is she his daughter who just doesn't get a break because he's constantly zapping all of her attention? Or is she his wife? And she's got a lover on the side who the only opportunity they get to be together is sneaking away from him when they're distracting him with the cinema. It's wild, man. I just don't get.
It's kind of explained later, and I'll get to it when we get to it. The girl who went to look for her friend gets attacked by her friend, who's now become a demon. And she kind of gets away. And she ends up on the stage behind the screen, where she turns into a demon and bursts through the screen. Everyone goes to her side to see if she's okay, as the guy who's like shagging the CNI escort is like attacked as well. There's so much that goes on in this like little, it's like 30 seconds of cinema, and there's an attack going on here, there's that going on there, everyone's panicked, it's like complete chaos in this little confined space.
And again, and I mentioned the score earlier, like there's this heavy metal score playing throughout as all this stuff is popping off. And the scene where she breaks through the cinema screen and falls onto the floor, she's not quite fully demonoid yet. She's just a bit sort of panicked by she knows what's coming, and she falls to the floor and everybody runs up to the stage to see if she's okay. And then you get this amazing transformation scene where she becomes full demon, and the camera focuses on her hand, which is on the stage floor, and you see like these weird fingernails like bust through the ends of her fingernails, as if like her fingers are extending into like demon hands, and it is literally Evil Dead 1. It is like that stop motion prosthetic effect, and it's just well within my wheelhouse. I was like, this looks incredible.
It looks really, really, really good, and I like the fact everyone's reaction is fairly genuine. They all just go, fuck this. And they all like run to the exits, and they're trying to rip signs off and rip their way through the doors. And I think it's so good. It's so good. The premise of this. One thing that annoyed me is this screaming soundtrack.
Oh, really? I love it.
You've got like this headache-inducing, and on the back of that, you've got like this constant wailing screen of all the patrons in the cinema, and it's okay for a bit, but this scene goes on for a good 6 minutes, and it is that constantly with no reprieve.
I watched this with headphones as well, and I was like, this is amazing. That kind of shows what person I am, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was just a bit too much, especially in this like escape attempt where they're trying to get out and all the doors are locked, and like they pull a panel off a door and it's actually bricked up. It's not really a door, and it was just a bit much for me. The Deadite scalps someone, which was cool. I'm calling her a Deadite.
We call them Deadites, so we're just going to go with that.
Yeah, I'm going with Deadite. She's not a demon, she's a Deadite. But when she got up, she like wakes her way through and she grabs someone's hair and rips the scalp off, the same as in Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah.
Which was great. The effect looked great. The two horny boys managed to trap her in a room. She chases them down a corridor and like into a room, and they like run back out and like push the door closed, and they push the Coke machine over to hold the door shut. They put stuff together really fast in this. So like they all of a sudden like well, that's what happened in the movie, so that must be what's happening here. And there is no question in anyone's mind, and it's the guy who plays the pimp, and he's like, well, it's the movie that's doing it. We must head to the production booth and stop it straight away. And everyone's like, yes, I agree.
To be fair, though, I feel like they're the kind of logical leaps that maybe me and you would make if we was in this situation.
Do you think the logical leap I would make from someone ripping someone's scalp off is I need to turn the movie off?
I think so, yeah. Based on the amount of content we've endured over the years, I feel like this would be the most. I don't know. There was just something about it that felt to me like, yeah, that makes sense for you to do that. That seems like the right procedure to make in terms of what's actually happening around you.
See, I know demons want souls, so my goal would be to suggest to you that we go somewhere, knowing that you will do it willingly, and kind of feed you to the demon as some kind of sacrifice.
Oh, you do that for me, man? That's so nice.
It's fine. I'd keep you in a shed like Ed in Shaun of the Dead after it's all over. I'm going to say it now to save covering it in my roundup. The acting and dialogue in this movie is fucking atrocious.
It's not the best, but it's hard, I think, to judge it based on the way we watched it. Obviously, this is an Italian film, Italian directed, Italian produced, Italian dialogued. I watched this with American dubbing, and the voice acting from the American dubbers is so
terrible,
bad. It's bad. I mean, I'm talking the opening to the game Resident Evil. It's like, oh, we should go in this house over here. It's very robotic and very unnatural, but again, it's hard to sort of say, like, if I watch this in Italian with English subtitles, maybe it would come across a little bit better than it was delivered in the version that I watched. I don't know. It's hard for me to pass opinion on it based on the interpretation of the film that I got, I think.
But I watched it with a pizza. Does that help?
I don't think that qualifies you as an Italian.
It's a me. It's a Mario. We cut outside and we get some sort of great 80s music, and we meet four punks, one of which sounded so much like Sylvester Stallone, it was unnerving.
He almost looked a bit like him as well.
Like his first line is like, "Hey, yo, Adrian." It was like, what the fuck? At this point, I assumed they were driving to the Metropole. They're not. They're just driving around, and they kind of end up there through fluke later. Back in the theatre, the customers go back towards the seating. As they get there, the movie says Finn, which I still think is the most pretentious thing on any movie ever.
Yeah, I hate it. Apart from when they do it in Sharknado, because it makes sense.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, I'll give you that. Now, the blind guy, I thought he got attacked and died in kind of the melee earlier, but he didn't. And he starts telling everyone that it's not the movie, it's the theatre. And the theatre killed his Liz. And this is when we find out that Liz was not an escort, as I thought, but actually his daughter. So he wasn't a pervy old man. He was just a weird dad.
Yeah.
Who was far too clingy with his daughter.
I think he was just very dependent on her, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Always.
as was the guy who was balls deep in her earlier, but terrible. Now, when he points out that she's been got, the pimp guy's like, we need to throw Liz over the balcony to make sure she's dead before she turns into another demon. He's like, no. And like the whole mob's like, that's a great idea. Let's get Liz and throw her over the balcony. There's no resilience from anyone in this. Like the pimp's like, well, she's a demon. We need to throw her 20 stories down to kill her. And everyone's like, yeah, cool. I'll get her legs.
And again, just to bring into context of how bad the actual dubbing is in this film, the pimp guy is a black man. And instead of like having, I don't know, just somebody who would normally voice somebody like that, they basically bring in Mr. T to voice this guy.
He is very much, I pity the fool who won't throw Liz over the balcony.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, Oh man, that is just so on the nose.
It's so bad. Thankfully, Liz's body is saved from being thrown over the balcony as another demon attacks. Great practicals in this, loads of vomit, loads of gore. It's like Evil Dead contained in a theatre, is the only way I can describe it.
Very cool. I'm really enjoying where we're at with this film at this point. I'm like, this is so cool.
It's really, really good. And like they manage to kill this demon that attacks, and they decide that they need to barricade themselves in there. And as they're trying to do that, like all hell breaks loose. And honestly, I watched this like 30 times. I can't piece what happens here. There's bodies going everywhere. There's screaming. There's banging on walls. There's shit flying all over the place. There's vomit. It's really cool, but I honestly can't describe it. What happens in this like minute scene? It's just carnage.
Yeah, I think the thing is as well, like because you don't really get that initial character introduction and setup that you would normally get with a film, it just goes straight in so quickly. It's like you don't have any actual emotional attachment to anybody really, apart from the two guys and the two girls. So all these other characters, like you mentioned earlier, just cannon fodder. So when a big heavy scene like this kicks off, you have no real connection to anybody. So as far as you're concerned, it's just literally carnage. So scenes of characters like maybe hiding under a chair or somebody running in a certain direction, it's like because you don't have any relatable aspect to that character, they all just sort of melee into one, and you don't really focus on any particular thing that's going on other than the mess that's happening on screen. And I think I use mess in the wrong term because it's actually really cool what's happening.
It's really good.
It's just hard to associate anything with anybody that's really going on. And it's like one of the characters popped back up later on after this scene, and I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure you were the one who got your skull ripped off. But it's obviously not. It's just because you can't relate to any of them at this point.
Or it is, and just 80s and budget, they're finished fine. You survived.
Yeah, just bring it back.
Back with our 80s traveling punks who look like characters from Streets of Rage is the best way I could describe them.
Yeah.
They are snorting cocaine from a can of Coke through a straw. And
I thought this was brilliant.
I was confused because I was like, why did he just snort Coca-Cola? Fucking idiot. And then like one of them spills it and cocaine goes everywhere. And I went, what a great idea. Cocaine users take notes. This is genius. Absolute genius.
It's so clever, isn't it? Not that we encourage the use of cocaine on this show.
Hey, I'm not your dad. Do what the fuck you like. I love that the leader of this gang, Ripper, like as soon as they spill the cocaine, like slams the brakes. So he's like, you will pick up every gram of that cocaine you've spilt, every single gram. And like as they're all looking quite scared of him, it cuts back inside the theatre where they've ripped all the chairs off the floor and they've blocked both of the entrances into the theatre, which is also their only escape. And like after I saw them done it, I'm like, you idiots.
Yeah, now you're just stuck.
Now if someone comes in here, you are done for because you've got no escape. Now, I said they were picking cocaine up. Well, some of it went on one of the girls' boobs. And what I'm about to say, I never, ever thought I would say in my life, ever. So there's a character called Little Pig scraping cocaine up off of Nina's nipples, and he's using a razor blade to do this and accidentally cuts her nipple.
I don't know if he does it accidentally or if he does it purposefully.
Yeah, it's a very strange,
erotically charged scene.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I think there are a group of people about our age who watched this and now have some knife play fetish.
That's weird. Why would you be into things like that? No offense to you if you are, but that doesn't seem safe.
No, maybe with like a plastic prop knife, I'd be comfortable with that. But I don't want anyone taking a sharp.
I have the weirdest vision in my mind right now. I just have visions of you in a scream mask with a plastic knife. I don't need that right now.
I don't want anyone taking a sharp instrument anywhere near my jewels ever.
But yeah, this scene, man, it's weird. It's really strange. I don't. It was just a case of let's just show some boob, I think.
I think it was, and the part where the punks are doing this, they're parked at the rear of the Metropole, and they can hear noises coming from inside, and this is because everyone is pounding on the walls to try and get out. The same way you would if, like, you were trapped in a capsized boat, you'd bang on the bottom to try and get someone to come and save you. While they're pounding, they find a room behind one of the walls, and they kind of rip the wall down and go in to find a way out. They enter a walled off part of the theatre and assume there's going to be an exit in a bit that is walled off. This is the stupidest decision I've ever seen in a movie. Oh, we found a bit that's been walled off for 30 years. I bet there's a way out down there.
Yeah, definitely not.
No,
And again, like, it leads to nowhere. I don't understand the relevance of this, because they go down there. There's clearly no escape. They all have like a little meltdown and a big shouting session between a lot of them. And then the next thing we know, we're back upstairs.
Yeah, they're all sat in the theatre, just sat there like moping. Like one, did you spot the guy who sat there and he sat on the seat, like looking sorry for himself, but he's eating a bag of popcorn?
No, I didn't.
He made me chuckle because that would have been me. Well, I'm still hungry. Outside, the cops pull up next to the cocaine and punk-filled car, and the cops just make a run, or the punks make a run for it when they realise they're in trouble, and they basically make their way into the theatre. In doing so, they let out a demon that attacks the two cops in the alley. I like this. Now, there's people in this group who've broken off, and there's a couple who've broken off to try and find their own way out. And as the punks are coming in, they've got up in the air vents and they're trying to crawl their way out through the air vents. Now, I like it's such a weird movie. There's so much I think they wanted to do a lot more with this, but were restricted on time and budgets, because there's a lot of subplots like this where they go to get out and it's not really properly fleshed out and they both just die.
Yeah.
It's cool concepts.
Yeah.
I said the dialogue was bad in this, and I'm going to give you an example now. So the couple crawling through the vent, and there's something making a scratching noise on the side of the vent. And the guy who's leading the way, I quote, "Something is scratching the nails on the outside of this shaft. Behind you, faster, faster."
But again, it's hard, isn't it? Because that could just be poor translation.
Yeah, because I don't know what they said in Italian. I'm pretty sure it wasn't, "They're scratching the outside of my shaft." Thankfully, the demon tracks them down and kills them, I'm assuming, for the terrible lines they just delivered.
Yeah. Does he kill them both at this point? I can't remember.
I think they both die here. One of them definitely gets it.
Yeah, I like the way as well, because like she's behind him, and he's like, "Oh, I can hear the scratching," and then they go to the point. It's like, "Oh, let's swap over now. You go in front of me," and then immediately after they swap over, she's just executed. It's like, did you know this was coming?
And that's a question. If you knew it was coming and it was some random girl you'd met in the theatre, would you have swapped places? Because as horrible as it sounds, I know I would have.
No, because these two couples are like an actual couple.
Again, I love Lisa very much, but I don't know. No, that's mean. I would sacrifice myself. Of course I would.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
No, I really would. I really would. The punks removed the barricade on the door. So, I said they pushed the Coke machine over on the door. They removed this, and the first demon who kind of was trapped in there is inadvertently let out. Nina, who's the girl who had her nipples out earlier, she gets dead. And then we see all the demons come up the stairs, which is kind of it's the shot that everyone knows from this movie, where you've got the light behind them and you get the shadows as they come up and their glowing eyes. This looked cool.
Awesome as fuck. I don't understand why their eyes were glowing though.
They're demons.
Of course, demons.
What?
I mean, I don't know much about demons. Do all demons' eyes close?
I don't know. I don't know. Occasionally when I take photos of my kids, they've got red eyes. Is it the same thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So the people in the cinema can hear all these noises and they can hear gunshots because the punks are now shooting at one of the demons. Not knowing it's the punks and they think it's someone come to save them, they take down all their barricades thinking they're saved. Demons come through the barricades at rapid pace.
Well, they don't really, do they? Because they're trying to take the barricades off, and then the demons just instantly burst through the floor.
Is
like
it,
they're under. Yeah, no, they come from underground as if like
I thought they burst.
back.
I thought as they moved like and made a hole, it burst through the chairs and sent all the chairs flying.
No. Pimpin' Mr. T bursts out through the floor.
Does he?
From underneath him. Yeah, he just like bursts out through the floor with his arms in the air and goes, rah! And then he starts like wiping out motherfuckers.
He wipes out loads of people as well. And this cast gets eviscerated numerous times, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Where they've recast people. Again, too much screaming in this scene for me. That constant.
It's never bothered me. I can't even really think to what you're referring to. I don't know. I never noticed it.
The two girls and the two guys we met are making their way out. Like they crawl out of the theatre and they're trying to find another way to escape. And they spot the vent that we saw people dying earlier. One of the girls is now a demon. And this comes out of nowhere. There's no pre-warning that she's been bitten or scratched or fuck all. And like they're all talking, and then all of a sudden she goes, ugh. And she's like full demons, like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, this is weird because she's different. We don't see any bites, we don't see any scratches, we don't know how she's been infected or inflicted with this sort of demon virus thing that's spreading throughout everybody. But not only that, she turns a lot slower than the rest of them. And then when she does eventually turn, she gets one of the lads, the one that's being cuddled up to her in the cinema, he takes like the grill off the vent and like completely just obliterates her with it, like smashes her repeatedly over the head, and she falls to the floor. And then the next thing, she goes into downward dog yoga pose, and this like little creature bursts through her back.
It's a
like
critter.
A reverse angel thing.
It's a critter.
Alien thing.
It looks like
a critter.
It looks like a critter. I've got it in my note, and for some reason, a critter climbs out of her back and attacks one of the guys.
Now, this is weird because this little demon creature that bursts from her back has the face of the crow mask we've been seeing throughout. So this is, in my opinion, or at least the way I perceived it, was like this is the main demon. But there's never been any indication up until this point as to why she would be the chosen one to have this demon inside of her. And then, other than a little fight scene later on, he never reoccurs.
No.
Shows any form of importance. And what's interesting about this character in particular is she looks like Megan Fox's mum. And I was so convinced. I was like, she looks like Megan Fox, but older. I was like, this is definitely Megan Fox's mum. So I Googled her, and she's in Demons 2.
Okay.
How?
I
haven't
don't
seen
know.
Demons 2 at this point yet, but I don't understand how the fuck she's back in it.
Demons 2 might find its way into a poll just so I can get an answer for that.
Yeah, I think so.
So this little critter attacks one of the guys and he cuts his chest, and you get like they run away from this, and you now get the guy who's hurt telling the guy and girl who are still okay to like, look, you leave me behind. And he's like, they'll catch you if you don't. And he's like, look, I'm going to fight. And he's like, oh, no, I feel weak. And then he tells his friend to kill him with a samurai sword. He's like all fired up.
The thing that always annoys me about this, and always annoys me about like these zombie films and things like that, when somebody gets bitten, or they always immediately want to die.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
I'd want to know the experience, whether I would be conscious or not, whether I would be aware of what was going on if I became a zombie, or if I turned into a demon, or is this reversible? It's like, don't take the coward's way out, man. Just explore your options. You know, you might live a better life.
And unbelievably, I'm in agreement with you. I would be like, look, when I turn, make sure I'm chained up and see if there's any sort of communication from me. See if you can get me
Yeah.
to communicate through like taps and knocks or whatever. And if I can't, and I'm clearly not there, then take my head off. But give me a chance first.
Yeah, like, just lock me in a room, man, and find some help. Put me in a laboratory until they get it fixed. I don't give a shit, but don't just fucking end me off.
Yeah, or use me as an excuse to get rid of all the people you've always hated and just feed them to me. Keep me alive that way. The thing is, like, his friend does it as well. His friend kills him.
This goes like, bearing in mind his friend's basically like a younger Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
He's a very, very hunky, blonde-haired, Aryan race man. He just has no. I mean, he has a bit of hesitation about doing it, but
And then
he wipes him out good and proper.
Yeah. And then goes from cutting his friend's head off to riding a motorbike through the theatre. Now, the only way they could make this cooler, and the only other person who could pull this off would be Bruce Campbell. He rides around the theatre, cutting deadites down with a samurai sword, and this scene lasts literally 7 minutes.
Yeah, it's so cool. I was all aboard for this, though.
Yeah, and like he so he goes from like the lobby area into the theatre, and he's riding up and down the aisles, chopping people down, back into the lobby, does a U-turn and goes back in again. He does this like 4 times.
Yeah, just doing laps, just decapitating people with a samurai sword.
And he does it until he kind of gets knocked off. And this is where he then continues the fight on foot. He doesn't give up. He goes from like meek, mild-mannered, quiet boy who got a Coke can for a girl earlier to full-on fucking samurai warrior riding his wild hog into battle.
Yeah, this is Navy SEALs at its finest.
For no apparent reason, a helicopter crashes through the roof of the theatre. I don't know why. I don't understand. I don't care. It's cool. But where did it come from?
Well, I think this kind of ties into the ending without jumping the gun a little bit.
Yeah, it kind of does, but it's very convenient.
No, yeah, it's extremely convenient. But yeah, I think by the time you get to the end, it kind of makes a little bit more or less sense depending on how you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, they get to the chopper, and as they get to the chopper, all the deadites sort of come in and approach. And
Are we still doing the chopper thing?
Ding.
Can we just call it a helicopter and move on?
Every now and then, I just like dropping a chopper every now and then. He starts the blades on the chopper, and this is great. It's like a little blender. It's not moving particularly quick, but like every deadite walks into a blade and like loses part of their face or gets cut across the chest, and it's like, oh, this is cool. It's silly, but I like it.
There isn't really a lot of meat on the bones with this film at this point. We just had a helicopter crash through a ceiling. We don't really know why this is happening or who it's happening to. You kind of just have to roll with it, I think, at this point.
Yeah, and the next bit where he turns into MacGyver, taking a couple of bits out of the back of the chopper and making a homemade Batman grappling hook just fucking blew my mind. I was like, what's he actually made that out of? Where did he get those bits? And
I don't know.
He fires the grappling hook up through the hole onto the roof and then uses the winch of the helicopter to safely winch him and his lady to safety. It's incredibly cool. It's really cool. When you get outside, it was here I realized this was a wider issue. You can hear sirens and people screaming in the background.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, obviously, we didn't really touch upon it earlier on, but as the punks going to the theater, the same time they enter, the blind man who had his eyes gouged out earlier on, he also exits the theater. And the first 2 people outside of this contained environment are the 2 police officers.
Yeah.
So I think that it's not so much a wider issue, but I feel like it still started here within the cinema, and then it's now massively escalated, because while we're on the rooftop with our 2 remaining people, they start looking over the balcony into flats and buildings across the street, and then they realize that everybody in the adjacent flats and stuff like that are also demons now, and they're clawing at the windows to escape and try and get them.
Yeah, and this is where we get the guy from the beginning with the mask who turns up, and he gets there, and the first thing he does is he throws the guy down the hole that he's just climbed out of, and he's kind of hanging on, and he's trying to climb to safety, and the guy's pushing him back down, and then the girl stabs him in the back. The two of them push his head onto like upturned bits of rebar sticking out of the roof, and that is a brutal kill. Really
and
bad.
it's so slow as well, and you see the bars just slowly penetrate, and one of them goes through his eye. Quality.
Yeah, great. They climb down and they get to the alleyway and they dash into the street, and you can now see it's a scene straight out of Dawn of the Dead. They're being chased by an entire horde, and all hope looks lost until a random Jeep pulls up and tells them to get in, and they start to drive away. There's a family aboard this Jeep, and they've got more weapons than you could possibly imagine. They're like, oh, there's more weapons on the floor if you need them. And they're driving through and they're shooting these demons as they're going. And then credits start to roll. While the credits are rolling, the girl on the back turns into a demon and is shot from the Jeep and tumbles down the road. And the end credits is this Jeep with the one surviving guy and the family just like trickling off into the sunset.
I thought this ending was outstanding.
I liked the fact they made the bold choice to kill the girl at the end. I was like, because she turned and without hesitation, she is blown off of that Jeep. Not a second thought. There's no forgiveness for any character in this movie at all, ever.
No, nobody's safe. And I think that's the whole sort of thing about it is it's just utter carnage. There's no real development for anybody. Nobody is pivotal to the story. It's just, let's just kill off as many people as we can in extremely cool ways in a really cool setting and see where it goes.
Yeah, and I liked it. We'll get to our roundups in a minute. Let's do hot takes.
It's time for hot takes.
So, hot takes. This is an under-discovered movie, so we didn't get a lot. We've got Golden Chainsaw. A fun gore flick with a mindless plot. I love it. Horror Queen 24/7. Underrated. It's fun, silly, and overall an enjoyable watch. What James watched. An absolute classic. And Blood Splatter Chatter, I think, nailed it perfectly. Classic trash.
That sounds pretty fair.
Yeah. Let's play a game.
Yes. What's a game?
So it's a new game, and for a change, I wanted to make a game that was fun for you, not fun for me, and fun for all the listeners.
Oh, that sounds nice of you. I still don't completely believe that this is going to be fun for me.
So this game is called Older Than Scott.
Oh, yeah, this does sound fun for me.
Yeah, so as a lot of you will know, last week I had a birthday and I've turned another year older. So we're going to play a game where I'm going to give Marc a movie, and all Marc needs to do is tell me if that movie is, if I'm older than that movie or I'm younger than that movie.
Brilliant.
This is going to be incredibly depressing for me.
By the way, you haven't had your birthday yet, have you, when we're recording this episode?
When we're recording, no. My birthday's
Monday.
I
was going to say, I was like, shit, have I missed this dude's birthday?
Yeah, no, you haven't. My birthday's on
Monday.
Monday.
Like, I'm sure I set a reminder in my phone to tell me it was Scott's birthday.
Yeah, no, you've not missed it, but by the time this comes out, I've had a birthday and got another year older.
That's okay. I panicked for a minute. I was like, man, am I a really shit friend?
So are you ready to play Older Than Scott?
I am ready to play Older Than Scott.
Okay. So the first movie, Halloween. The original.
Is Older Than Scott.
It is older than Scott, so that's a good start for Scott. Aliens. The James Cameron.
Are you allowed to tell me the year of these, or is that
no, that makes it too easy. So Aliens, the James Cameron.
Is Older Than Scott.
No, it's not. Scott is older than Aliens.
Wow, you are older than aliens.
I know. The Evil Dead 2.
Scott is older than Evil Dead 2.
Scott is quite a bit older than Evil Dead 2. This is more depressing than I thought.
Just know if you start throwing out films like Scream and things like this is going to be a fairly easy quiz.
The original, A Nightmare on Elm Street.
He's not older than Scott.
No, it's not older than Scott. Scott is older than A Nightmare on Elm Street.
You are older than A Nightmare on Elm Street, dude.
I am. I know. The Fly, the Jeff Goldblum movie.
Oh, I don't know when that was. It's Jeff Goldblum. He still looks very hunky these days. So
he's a very hunky, very strange man, but very hunky.
I'm going to say The Fly is not older than Scott.
Scott is older than The Fly as well. Yeah, I'm older than
The Fly.
I am older than The Fly. An American Werewolf in London.
Oh, that is older than Scott.
It is, but only just. like we're talking less than a year older than Scott. They Live, starring the 80s wrestler Rowdy Roddy Piper.
That is older than Scott. Surely to God.
No, Scott is older than They Live.
Fucking hell, dude. This is not doing your ego any good.
No, it's not. Dawn of the Dead.
That is definitely. It's in black and white, man. There is no way. Oh, no. No, that one's not in black and white.
No, that one's not in black and white.
I got confused then. Oh. We're not talking the Savini one, though, are we?
No.
No. Right, that is older than Scott.
It is. Again, only just. The last one, The Thing.
Older than Scott.
No, I am older than The Thing by 2 months.
Ooh, it's the same year.
So same year. So The Thing came out in 1982, 2 months before I was born.
So how old are you now?
I am 41 years old now.
Wow. How does that feel?
Does
it ache? Does everything ache?
No, so in my head, I'm still as young as I always have been. I'm still 18. We went and done like a Ninja Warrior thing with the boys, and I can still do all that stuff. The next day, the boys were like, yeah, we're going to play football. The next day, I was dead. Every single part of me was broken. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to lay here and watch films. They're like, oh, do you not want to come kick a ball around? No, every muscle in my body hurts. And
I could not think of anything worse. Please leave me in silence.
There's something I do every morning which is really depressing. So I get out of bed, I put my legs over the side, I sit down. When I stand up, both my knees, my hips, and my back crack every single morning. I sound like a packet of crisps when I get up.
Really? I've never had that. But one thing I did have the other week was I was working on this roof and I was down on my knees quite a lot. And I've never had anything like back pain or joint ache or anything like that. But my knee went. And I was like, do you know when you encounter people in your life, like, oh, my knee's absolutely shafted. It's just completely gone. It keeps popping and stuff. I was like, oh, God, I hope I never, ever. I first experienced it a few weeks ago where my knee just went. I was like, oh, shit, it's happening. It's taking me. Age is taking me.
The worst thing is it must have been about 3-4 weeks ago. I thought I had a serious issue. So I was on the phone to someone at work, and all of a sudden I got massive shooting pain, like all up through my chest. I was like, I got to go. And I put the phone down and I sat there, I'm taking deep breaths. I'm like, oh God, this is how it happens. This is fucking, I'm done. And then I done the biggest burp ever. It was heartburn, which I've never experienced heartburn before. And honestly, I thought I was going to die. I was convinced it was a heart attack.
Isn't it funny how life just comes full circle? You've now reached an age in your life where you need burping again.
The stupid thing is, I was sat there and on it, like Lisa had gone. She'd gone to pick the kids up from school, and I was all on my own. And all that's going through my head is, Lisa's going to find me like on the floor in the conservatory, and the kids are going to be with her. And then all of a sudden, I just went, "Ugh," and I was like, "Oh, it's gone. I feel all right now."
At what point in that situation do you like think, should I ring an ambulance?
I was at the point where I kind of like had my phone in my hand, going, "I'm going to give it." I'm like you. I'm a bloke. I need to be like either dead or like a limb hanging off before I go, "Yeah, I'm going to bother someone else with this." But I was sat
I
there.
never would. I'd rather die in ignorance, I think, from a heart attack than actually ask for help.
But yeah, I was sat there and I was like, I started to get the sweats and I'm going, and then all of a
That's
sudden I
not a
was
good sign, that though.
like, no. So Lisa made me ring the doctor when she come back, and I talked the doctor through the symptoms. He's like, yeah, you just need some like what are they, like Rennie or like Gaviscon. It's like it's heartburn, and then he threw in it happens when you reach your age. And the worst bit is my doctor's like 25. I'm not old enough to be my doctor's dad.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
His prescription was get back to watching reruns of Heartbeat.
And for any of our listeners who are not in the UK who doesn't know what Heartbeat is, go to YouTube and Google one episode. I challenge you to watch an episode of Heartbeat and not look at the UK in a different light.
Well, I live literally like 20 minutes down the road from where all of that shit was filmed.
I didn't realise Heartbeat was that close to the Shire.
It is the heart of the Shire,
Isn't
from where
it?
I am.
Let's do facts and fuck ups now. We've depressed me.
Facts and fuck ups.
The building used for the exteriors of the Metropole Theatre still stands in Berlin. It's a club called the Goya, and it's been the host of horror conventions ever since this movie came out.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so every year they hold a horror convention in the Goya Theatre, which is also obviously the set for this, what a cool place to go and do a horror con.
So this wasn't actually filmed in Italy then?
No, it's filmed in Berlin.
Right. Seems a weird thing to do when you're an Italian film.
I guess so. When the helicopter crashes through the roof of the cinema, there are no dead pilots in it. So it crashes through and there is not a single person in it. When the characters get up to the helicopter, there are bodies in it that they need to move. But when you watch it clearly come through the roof and land, and like as they're walking up to it, there's no one in the helicopter. It's empty. The blind man going to the cinema was planned as an ironic joke because the filmmakers thought it was funny.
I mean, that's a bit insensitive. Like, look at this blind man. Let's just mock all blind people by sending him to the cinema.
That's exactly what it was. And I know that blind people and visually impaired people go to the cinema a lot, and cinemas do audio description, and it's a thing. Blind people can go to the cinema, but yeah, in the 80s, this was a ha, you're blind. It was very much a Nelson Muntz from The Simpsons moment.
If you had to choose between going blind or going deaf, I don't know how insensitive this is. I'm just curious. What would you rather?
Probably, I don't know. Probably blind.
Why?
Because I host a fucking podcast for a start.
Yeah, but that's no good if you can't watch the films you're talking about.
Oh shit! I can because I've got audio description. Fuck you!
It's not the same. It's not the same. I'm not buying it.
I would implore anyone who is blind to start a podcast. I will listen to that to hear your take on something through audio description only.
That would be a unique perspective I'd be interested in listening to, actually.
100%, because I've never watched anything with audio description. I may go and watch something with audio description to see. I'll see if I can find audio description for Demons.
That would be a fucking wild ride, considering the score and soundtrack to this film.
Yeah, and not only that, like, have I just found a new way to write episodes?
In terms of what?
In terms of doing my notes, just turn on audio description and fucking record it.
I don't know how successful that's going to be for the show. I'll be honest.
I'm going to pick an episode where it's just you and me and give that a go. Audio description notes.
Well, I tell you what. Let's do an episode where somebody can pick a film for me and you to both watch with our backs to the screen and just base it purely on audio description, it's got to be a film that neither of us have seen. So we can't base it on preconceptions we have of characters and cast and things like that. So it's got to be a film that neither of us have no knowledge of whatsoever. We have to watch it with audio description, and then we have to review it on the show.
Do you know, I think that's a bit to throw into a horror movie news. We'll pick a movie between us.
All right, we'll do that then. We'll pick a movie, we'll watch it with audio description, and then me and you will, because obviously it's not going to be able to do a full run through and all the rest of it, but we will try and
We'll try and give
our experiences and compare what both me and you perceived of that particular film.
We'll do that on the August news.
Right, okay, that gives us plenty of time to do that.
Yeah, okay. No,
we have gone wildly off topic with this.
We have. After the demon falls on the girl, so you know the demon goes down on the girl in that big fight, and it pukes that like goopy orange shit all over her. In the next scene, she's completely clean and completely dry because they shot it out of sequence. The name of the cinema, the Metropole, and the building design is in the first Silent Hill game.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so when you go through Silent Hill in the first game, the Metropole Theatre is there, and you actually go in to do bits in the theatre, and you get to effectively walk around this set. So one of the things you need to retrieve is down in the basement through the broken wall.
Oh, that's really, really cool.
Yeah,
I would never have known that.
No, I didn't. I Googled that one. Roundups. This movie is weird. It's fun. It's bizarre. Practical effects are great. I look at this, pick a zombie movie, any zombie movie you want. This could be the prequel to that zombie movie. Like anyone. Pick any Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, 28 Days Later, pick one. This could easily be the origin story of that movie. The sound editing was loud and annoying for me. And I hated that. Beyond that, it was fun. I don't have a lot to say. There's not a lot to it. No. It's a fun, kooky ride. Go and watch it. It's a 7 out of 10 from me. I recommend.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same wavelength as you with it. I think the practical effects in this are outstanding. Very reminiscent, like I've said already, of the Evil Dead, especially early days, sort of Evil Dead 1 stroke. This was kind of the practical effects you would expect to see if this was Evil Dead 1.5 before we get to Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
Really, really, really cool. I think the characters that we do invest a little bit of time in are very well fleshed out. There's only the real main core four, if you will, that we focus upon. Everyone else around them is cannon fodder. The score and soundtrack to this is phenomenal. I love it. I think it's very, very well suited to the film. It's very heavy metal driven, and I liked it. It put me in a very excitable mood when I was watching the carnage unfold on screen, and I think that is props to the sound design team for coming up with that kind of flow with it. And again, like we've mentioned at the beginning of the episode, this is my sort of real first experience into Italian horror, and especially Giallo and Argento. I don't know whether they all follow suit. I think maybe Suspiria might be the best one for me to go into next, because that one gets a lot of praise, I think. But overall, there's not a lot of meat on the bone with this film. It is just go to the cinema, carnage unfolds. We get little to no exposition of what actually happened, what caused it, how it started. It's just a fun ride from start to finish. I think the ending is really, really bold and clever, the way that it just shows that this isn't just contained to this one particular event, and that it has expanded to a much further reach. I like the way that they interject how it actually does get out of the cinema. I think that it is confined. My perception of it is confined to the cinema, and then when that one dude escapes and attacks a policeman, that is what then sort of creates a domino effect for it to go into a much wider scale, while everybody else is still focused on the events that are taking place within the cinema. It kind of shows how fast this does spread and affect, because it does spread and affect pretty quickly. I mean, we see from the opening, it's a couple of scratches and that's it. The whole thing is done within 10, 15 minutes and everybody's pretty much wiped out. I haven't seen Demons 2. I own it. I'm definitely going to be watching it in the next week or so. I really, really hope this just continues straight on from where we left off. I think
Yeah.
that would be really, really cool. If it doesn't, and it starts this whole new story and new characters, I'll be slightly disappointed, I think. But anyway, I'm going off topic. For this film in particular, I think it's a lot of fun. I was really, really enjoying my time with it. It's definitely something that I'll revisit multiple times in the future. I think it's just one of those perfect background films. You can just stick it on in the background. You could drift in and out of it, and it doesn't matter whether you've caught 10 minutes and not caught the next 20. You could still come back into it and pick up where you left off.
Yeah, nothing's explained, so it doesn't matter where you start watching it.
No, it doesn't really matter. You could watch this completely out of sequence and still have fun with it, I think. I'm going to go 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed my time with it. Again, there's not a lot of depth to it to dissect and pick apart and criticize because it's not really that kind of film. So, yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed my watch with this film a lot.
If you want to watch it, you can watch this on YouTube. Do not go and rent it anywhere. There's a copy on there, which is really good quality. That's where I watched it. Did you watch it on YouTube?
No, I've got it on VHS.
Okay. Mark watched it back in the 80s. I watched it on YouTube.
We've just played a game of how old is Scott. Let's not talk about me going back and watching VHS.
Guess the year is now gone. So I'm guessing that everyone wants a new way to win merchandise. So for the next 8 weeks, we've got a new way for you to win merchandise, and it's a fun way for us, an easy way for me to track, and hopefully fun for all of you as well. We're going to be issuing a set of 8 challenges, 1 challenge per week for you to complete. All you need to do is complete that complete that challenge and post proof on social media. You can do it as a picture on Twitter, as a story on Instagram, as a post on Instagram, as a TikTok video, just to show that you've completed what we've asked you to do. Each week they get harder. And if you do it every single week and you get to the very end, then you will win 2 items of merchandise from our website, of which at the moment I'm in the process of uploading 30 brand new t-shirt designs, hat designs. We've got sliders, we've got bags, we've got loads of new stuff coming. All the old stuff that you've seen on there before is all gone. Everything is brand new. And we've got a t-shirt that says, "My Dixie Wrecked." So there's loads of stuff. I want to make it really simple to start off with, so get as many of you to take part as you can. Your first challenge, listeners, all you need to do is share this episode to your social media. So you need to share a link to the episode. So all you need to do is go to Spotify or wherever you listen, copy the link and share it. Share it on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, wherever, and tag us. Lots of you do this every single week. So I'm pretty sure all of you should nail week 1 really, really easily. It's as simple as that. It's week 1. It's week's 1 challenge.
Is that it? We don't have to do anything.
No, we don't have to do anything. It's on the listeners.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the listeners challenged. Next week, we are back with a new challenge and a new movie and a guest. Do we remember how to do guests?
No.
It's been a while.
We haven't had a guest in so long.
Who was our last guest?
I don't even know.
It's been ages. It's been far too long.
It's been only me and you for so long. I don't even remember the last person we had on.
No.
Oh, it was Lumberjack.
Of course it was. Killer Condom.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, we've got This Girl Loves Horror, who's going to be, discussing playing games with the family and why it's a dumb idea. I'm sure you've guessed already we're going to be covering Ready or Not. But until then, be good and don't take it personally. Just trying to find out if you're a gold-digging whore like my wife.
Stop doing these at the end. It's not cool.
It's just a setup for next week. Just accept it. Hashtag Stop Scott didn't take off.
Needs to. Can we bring that back and try again, please?
You can if you want. Do you want to do your pitch now?
No.
Okay. So, we're just trying to find out if you're a gold-digging whore and like my wife. See you all later.
Cheers, guys. See you next week.
Before we forget, you want to die tonight?
The cheaper, nastier, the better for me.
Would you have stayed after this?
Sorry, man. I was completely off guard there.
He's in his coffin. He's the undead.
This was the best bit of the film.
this is not the last time someone's going to steal your man.
Yeah, Mark's not a nice guy.
What do you didn't notice this scene? It looks like he's got an extra leg.
Yeah, I've got nothing. I've literally got nothing here. Surely that's even worse. The more listeners we have, the worse that's going to be.
Yeah, but I will just get a new phone.
Oh, I tell a lie, actually. Yeah, because we used to have teletext.
Art the Clown makes Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees look like pussies.
I can only assume that this was due to budgetary reasons and they couldn't afford enough extras.
Are you going to have Buster Rhymes in your list of characters?
Mate, I can't believe you don't know Idle Hands.
I'm going to ram my foot down his fucking throat. It was awesome.
It fucking wasn't awesome.